or lease.
So my friend, he just finished telling me the story, and he pointed to his engagement ring, and he said, "You see the stone there? That's actually the stone I passed." And I'm like, why the hell would you... Oh, sorry, we're recording. Hey, everybody, welcome to the newest edition of Breaking Bad News. I'm your host, as always, your friendly neighborhood Simpsons kin, Max Darrett. It's good to be with you all again, doing another one of these. And joining me, actually got a panelist this time. He is the Silverback Simian himself, co-star of Big and Robot. He is Scott. Woohoo. Scott, what's happening, man?
You know, not a whole lot, man. It is super, super hot, you know, because it's summer, and that sort of thing happens when it's summer. Unlike... in Australia, where apparently it's winter right now and everybody else is cold and bundled up, except for us, because, you know, we're not the cool kids, so.
Yeah, you know, I live in Canada, and it is hot as shit out here, man.
Yeah? Honestly. Oh, you guys are getting it too, huh?
Yeah, no, it's that's the thing. There's only a couple days during the year where the temperature is, like, perfect, and all the other times it's either too cold or too hot.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, we're not here to talk about the weather, even though that, you know, might be fascinating to you. That's not what we're here to talk about today.
Pleasantries aside, yes.
Yeah. A couple of different things that come up over the last 24 hours that I thought were interesting enough for Scott and I to discuss. One in particular has to do with a YouTuber getting banned from Twitter for absolutely no reason. How often do we hear about that nowadays? And also another story involving Joss Whedon being eaten by his own. So I don't know which one. I guess we should start with the one involving YouTuber Bunty King and the pickup artist / anti-racism strategist, as he likes to call himself, Tariq Nasheed. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This YouTuber that I'd never heard of until yesterday, named Bunty King, his real name is Anand Virk, got suspended from Twitter after arguing with Tariq Nasheed. And I never really heard of Tariq Nasheed. I've heard his name bandied back and forth. I heard a couple people on Twitter say that he's the Black Richard Spencer, which makes him sound like a delightful individual. But apparently what happened was... Jim. Yeah, he's a real Jim, Bunty King, what happened was he was taking issue with stuff that Nasheed was saying that it was racist and, you know, the usual stuff. And what Nasheed said to Bunty is he called him a happa, which means apparently half-breed. It's a derogatory term. Now, the reason why I was calling that, of course, I guess I should have mentioned, is that Bunty King is actually Sikh. Right. So, but apparently Nasheed, what's Nasheed? What the hell am I talking about? Tariq Nasheed.
We'll call him Nasheed. Why not? A little shorthand. There you go.
Just call him Nasheed.
Nasheed, yeah. It's his new name.
If he's gonna call people stupid names, we'll call him an even stupider name.
Exactly.
Balances it out. But apparently, favorite pastime of Tariq Nasheed, because, you know, he's a failed rap artist apparently named King Flex, has nothing else better to do with his time but call people on Twitter that disagree with him white supremacists.
Yeah.
And in this particular example, of course, he calls Bunty King a white supremacist, which makes no sense, considering, you know, he's not white. But
there's that whole thing for starters.
But anyways, back to the point. Other thing that Nasheed did was he misrepresented one of Bunty King's videos, saying it was dumping on black people and defending white supremacy, which makes no sense. And I'll tell you why. I'll actually read you the exact words that were used in this 45-second video. Quote, "What ends up happening is the SJW folks on the side of Black Twitter decided to come over and retweet the shit out of it and start saying things like, you can't be racist to white people, or things like, how can you be racist to white people when white people invented racism?" And then just before I continue with the quote, I want to note that he provided a tweet on screen to show that somebody actually said that.
Right.
And then continuing with the quote, "When I read it, I lost brain cells, and here I am sitting down, triggered as fuck. That triggers me, by the way. That really does trigger me when people are so fucking stupid." And just, I feel the need to note that in the quote that I read, I actually took out several swear words, but the message remains the same.
Right.
And then following that, of course, Nasheed's followers mass reported King's Twitter account, and now he is apparently suspended.
Yeah. No, I mean, one of the funny things about this, Bunty King is actually, he's a pretty funny guy. He's a pretty well-spoken dude. If you haven't checked out his channel on YouTube, you should check it out. He makes some good arguments. I haven't gone over the totality of his work, but you know what I've seen, I've found definitely favorable. But the funniest thing about this, though, is that, you know, there's this thing that normies aren't familiar with. It's this idea on the internet that you know, the internet never forgets. And in Tasheed's case, Mr. Tariq Nasheed apparently has somewhat of a checkered past when it comes to websites that he's made and statements that he's made that are how shall we say this, Max? Are they problematic in the eyes of the progressive stack? His ideas about homosexuality in particular are very problematic. And what this does is, what's funny about this though ultimately is that a huckster is going to huck, and they're going to be found out. And Tariq Nasheed needs to shut his fucking mouth because he's, you know, purporting to be up on this moral high horse. But then when you look into his past, because the internet never forgets Tasheed, you see that, you know, there's some skeletons in this guy's closet, and he's not quite the arbiter, you know, the altruist and the arbiter of compassion and morality that he claims to be. So yeah, this is one of those instances where, you know, look into it for yourself and see what's really going on, and you can see that there is a gross imbalance in the way things are handled in this particular situation, especially, but it's kind of endemic among social media. You know, the certain individuals curry favor because they speak to the, you know, the outrageaholics that'll get their back without really even knowing who these people are. And in this case, they got Tasheed's back. And oh boy, if they only knew.
Exactly. As for Bunty King, I like I said, I hadn't heard about this guy until 24 hours ago, but after watching one of his videos, I immediately subscribed to him. And the main reason why is because listening to this guy swear, he swears exactly like I do. He does it in a very eloquent, matter-of-fact way. Like, he's like, can you please, like, do something productive, like go jack off a cactus or something like that. Instead of just, you know, just spewing words for no purpose whatsoever, he speaks with purpose, you know, and I just knew right then and there I had to subscribe to this guy. So go subscribe to Bunty King right now. Go support him on YouTube. He'll get his Twitter account back eventually, but we're just informing you guys of this sort of thing just in case, you know, it happens again. That way we can push back a little bit more effectively, make sure that, you know, Twitter isn't too trigger happy when it comes to suspending people that express their own opinions. Anyways, moving on to this next story, which I think we have a lot more to say about this.
Oh, I love this one, boy.
So Wonder Woman is a pretty good movie. Did you see it when it came out a couple weeks ago?
I have not seen it yet. I have not seen it yet. Mark saw it, and he did a little no spoiler review on the Big and Robots. But I look forward to seeing it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, though. But I will. All right. Well, apparently before this new Wonder Woman came out, the movie property had sort of been in development hell for a long time. And somebody who originally wrote a script for this potential movie back in 2005 was Joss Whedon, you know, very famous for writing TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, and of course movies like Serenity and The Avengers. You mean part-time male feminist icon Joss Whedon? That Joss
Whedon? Yeah. You know, when he isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is making great visual entertainment, he's trying to virtue signal like a motherfucker on social media.
Oh, yeah.
But what's particularly hilarious, you know, in the past, we've seen Joss Whedon sort of be eaten by his own on Twitter. He originally left Twitter because feminists weren't particularly happy with the way the character of Black Widow was handled in the Avengers Age of Ultron, which came out in 2015. And the harassment got so bad that he left Twitter, even though he doesn't want to admit it. We all know it. But then he came back eventually later. And it's happening again, it seems, because about a month ago, Joss Whedon's original Wonder Woman script leaked online, and some of the reactions on Twitter are hilarious. But in some ways, I can sort of understand why there's a bit of outrage, especially when you consider, like, I've seen Wonder Woman, and I think that movie is fantastic in so many different ways that to see what could have happened, I'm just like, shout out to whoever made this movie not happen, because we got possibly the best version we could have gotten with Patty Jenkins. So, what are some of the things that are being said?
They were going to have, who was it? Angelina Jolie was set to star in it?
I like that casting idea. I think that would have been good.
I don't know, man. I can't get on board with that. Not feeling it.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. That's a debate for another day.
Yes, yeah. Indeed, yeah. I'm getting off topic.
Anyways, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We're here to talk about some of the things that were in the script and sort of the reactions to it. So, at times in the script, people are describing Joss Whedon's language and dialogue as perverted, and I can sort of see where they're coming from. I'm going to read you a couple of things from the script. When describing Wonder Woman earlier on in his story, Whedon describes her as the following. To say she is beautiful is almost to miss the point. Her body is curvaceous, but taut as a drawn bow. That's just great. This is like I'm reading fan fiction.
Yeah, it's like I shudder to think what Whedon is doing while he was writing this.
Yeah. I wonder if he has a thing for Angelina Jolie. Because, when he writes that, I can totally picture Angelina Jolie.
No, please don't. Let's not go down this rabbit hole.
All right. Moving on. Here's a particular piece of dialogue between the characters Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman. Steve says the following: "Your whole life on an island with only women and you can kiss like that?" Obviously, I'm supposing this is supposed to be following a big kiss scene. And then Diana says, "It's an interesting story." And then Steve says, "It can't possibly be as good as the one I'm making up right now."
See, I like that.
I do like that one. That was actually kind of funny. Yeah. Although, if that were to be in the movie, it's not in the movie that's out in theaters right now, but it would sort of be out of character for the Steve Trevor they made. Yeah. What else? This one's good. Steve, when speaking to Wonder Woman, he says the following: "I think you're dangerous. I think you mean well, but you're looking for trouble, and you're wildly adept at finding it. I think you've got delusions of grandeur, and some actual grandeur, which is confusing. I hate the fact that I don't know why I'm speaking like William Shatner, but anyways, I hate the fact that I'm so attracted to you. Just touching you is overwhelming, and I keep hoping you'll turn around so I can see more of you naked."
You know what I was like when I was reading this? You know what I was thinking of? I was like, this is one of the this is one of the deleted scenes from Top Gun where Iceman and Maverick are in the showers. I mean, seriously, tell me you cannot see Val Kilmer in a fucking white towel talking to Tom Cruise.
I'm almost waiting for Steve to say, "You can be my co-pilot anytime."
You can be my wingman anytime, Maverick.
Yeah, this is so surprising because Joss Whedon, whatever you may think about him personally, he's written some damn good stories, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. And just to see
more good than not. Let's just say that.
Yeah, more good than not. I mean, he's written some bad stuff, but overall, he does much more good than bad.
Absolutely.
But just the way that he's handling this particular character, it seems so out of place, because especially with his female characters, which are some of the greatest that I think I've ever seen on screen.
Well, here's the thing, though. You made a good point. Well, it's sort of an interesting avenue to go down. Is you say Whedon's language and dialogue is perverted at times, but here's the thing, though. He's writing characters. He's not. Well, I mean, granted, every writer puts some part of themselves into what they write, but he's writing characters. These aren't necessarily his words. These are the people that he is creating to fill the story and move it forward through different motivations and such. So I think that's something that we need to, think about when you're looking at this kind of stuff, because this isn't Joss Whedon writing a love letter to Angelina Jolie like we were going to talk about earlier. This is him writing a character named Steve Trevor. And so there needs to be a distinction. I think people kind of, especially feminists, they want to ascribe malintent to somebody who is creating a fictional character. So I think that's something you need to keep in mind of this. So I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit here, though. So
yeah. No, I understand. And that's the reason why, I don't really try to blame Joss Whedon's choices here too much. I'm just saying I'm glad that they actually went with what they did, Patty Jenkins' idea, because what's so great about the Wonder Woman movie that's out right now is how much respect they treat the Steve Trevor character with, and how much he adds to the good side in that movie. How much he really compliments Wonder Woman. The way he does it, it's almost on the level of Pepper Potts and Tony Stark. Actually, no, I'd say it's better than that, in my opinion. Yeah,
Okay.
I thought, yeah. So I'm really glad that, they didn't go with the angle where he's just sort of acting like a bit of a pig in this particular script.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully we'll hear something in a little while. Like maybe Joss Whedon will respond to the criticism regarding this because at the moment he's sort of being silent on social media.
Right. Probably a good idea on his part.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Here's something I wanted to kind of address too.
Yeah.
Is like you kind of started talking about it earlier. Is like when you think about Joss Whedon, immediately what comes to mind is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is a feminist icon at this point. It is the equivalent to the much maligned male power fantasy, but it's a female power fantasy, and it's fine. More power to them. We need to have these stories all across the board, male and female. They're great. It's good fun. It's good fiction. But one of the things that always struck me as funny was when you look at Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and this is something I tweeted about last week when I found out about this. The band that did the theme song for Buffy the Vampire Slayer is this pop punk band called Nerf Herder. Okay, I love these guys. I've been fucking Nerf Herder fans for fucking ever.
Nice.
And they don't sing in the in the intro music for Buffy. There's no singing. It's just music. But if you listen to some of the stuff that Nerf Herder writes, like, and the video of the song that I posted along with my tweet was a video for the song called Pervert. And to say that feminists would lose their fucking minds if they listen to this song is a fucking understatement. And the fact that they haven't keyed in on this yet has been something that has boggled my mind, because like it's just sitting right in front of them. There's something for them to outrage about, and they haven't done it yet. And I'm just like, wait, what? But yeah, not that Nerf Herder are misogynist or anything, but they're kind of crass, and they're very funny, and they talk about jerking off on a girl's teddy bear. So there's that.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll send you the link.
Oh God.
But this is prime outrage bait for feminists, and for them to not have found out about this until this point. I mean, it's like 10, 12 years after the fact, when Buffy was out or whatever. It might be in a little bit longer, and they still haven't figured this one out. It's like, because I can't imagine they wouldn't want to crucify Joss Whedon for this. Like, they'd be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you let these misogynists do the theme song to our iconic feminist hero, Buffy the Vampire Slayer." Like, that's a feminist voice apparently. That's what I was doing just then. So
we should send that music video to Anita Sarkees and see if she wants to hang out with Joss Whedon anytime in the near future.
Oh, dude, seriously, yeah, because like that is. I don't want to say I don't want to say worst, but that is one of their songs that is the most blatant. But they are very funny dudes, and they just don't give a fuck. So it's like the lyrical content of their songs is not something feminists would find safe, I guess is a good word.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
By the way,
there's that.
Speaking of Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar would have made a great Wonder Woman. No, I'm totally kidding. Anyways.
Oh, God,
that'll do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of Breaking Badger. Listen, if you liked any of the stuff that we talked about today, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, it's not what us two idiots have to say that's important. It's what you guys have to say. So please let us know your agreements and disagreements down below. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I want to thank Scott for joining me to talk about today's shows. As always, he always provides great insight, especially when it comes to this geeky shit, stuff that I can never really give much of great insight into. So yeah, until we do this again, I suppose in the next couple days, have a lovely, lovely Monday.